Peace to the tribe. This is like a raw dog, no Vaseline episode of Hood in the Morning, because the reality is that I don't know what's going on. I've been trying to get this connection down. Thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Maybe it was just a video. I don't know, but it's just been mad weird, son. How y'all feeling this morning? And then my kids is on 10, so I don't know how that's gonna work either. And I do not have the studio set up like I really want to have it set up. As y'all can see, I'm kind of like raw dogging it. You understand? Y'all ever been raw dog before or did some raw dogging? Yes. This is the wake and bake edition of Hood in the Morning. Hopefully y'all got y'all mind right, money right, and you ready for war. I'm the Hood Mystic, representing one of the leaders on the battalion in the spiritual war. Just want to thank everybody for their support as me and my family are transitioning into our new space. My wife told me 3 years to the day, because we've been slowly transitioning into our new space for like the past month, but we all just finally like spent the night. You know how you spend the night in your new spot, but everything ain't put together, so you like literally sleeping on the floors, but you don't give a fuck because you and your, like, it don't matter, right? So that is what we've been doing as of late. And I would have did this video earlier, but shout out to y'all. Y'all kept me and my wife in the chokehold, trying to fill orders and things of that nature. And I'm just the type of person that'd be like, I ain't gonna show up on this YouTube with y'all owing y'all money and shit, cause y'all be like, what the fuck this nigga talking about? He should be filling these orders, talking about goddamn new moon, nigga. Where's my new package at? So thank you for y'all patience and also y'all support. Got about 90% of those packages out, and the packages that we didn't get out yesterday will be getting out today. Once again, whiterabbitpsych.com, columbianexchange.com, hoodmystic.com, and on behalf of me, my wife, and my whole family, we just want to thank y'all. I'm gonna try to be more mindful of that before I get on this live, because you know, a nigga could take this shit for granted, you feel me? But y'all put me in a position where I'm very privileged and able to do things that I've never been able to do. And if it wasn't for y'all support, I would be motherfucking freaking blacking out in Columbus, Ohio somewhere, talking about, hey man, where the hoes at? But I've elevated my game thanks to y'all and y'all continued support. Speaking of support, we do have the Substack going live and direct. So if you do not want to hear my beautiful, sexy voice and you want to get straight to the bone gristle of the matter, you can click the link in the description. That'll send you to my White Rabbit page. And in the midst of moving, in the midst of getting orders out, staying up to fucking 2 o'clock in the morning to get this goddamn article out for y'all. Scheduled it to be sent to y'all around 8:44 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you are on the Substack list, this is a free article. However, the next article that I put out will be of the paid variety, and that is going to be in reference to the Empress energy. So if you want to get in while the getting is good, read this free article. It's going to show you how to find your house. Read and see if this aligns with the energy that you've been dealing with or energy you've been thinking about, and go ahead and leave a comment on the Substack. It's free, and I also don't want to just be writing shit for the sake of writing shit. If the shit just sound crazy and if it don't resonate with you, I'd like to hear that too, because I do not use a crystal ball. I use astrology and I use study, and that's what I'm bringing forward. So like I said, go ahead, click that first link in the description, or not first, second link. The first link would be the float capsules. Actually have me floating right now, among other things. This is the wake and bake edition of Hood in the Morning. I'm your gracious host, the Hood Mystic. You can Google my first and last name. A lot of spiritual people, you don't know their first and last name. They be motherfucking Asor. Asor Pharaoh. Nigga, what's your government name? You know what I'm saying? You can Google my government name, Kyrie Anthony, and you'll get a whole slew of surprises. So with that being said, let's get into the conversation now that my commercial is over. You understand what I'm saying? And people might not like when you promote yourself. People may not like when you try to sell yourself. But my thing is, if you don't do this shit for yourself, then that means I would be relying on y'all to support me, and that don't even make sense. Now do it. How could I rely on somebody to put my shit out? I have to do it myself or start paying for people. So the conversation that we're having today is centered around new moon in Pisces. Figured I'd just kind of fly through this information so we can get to the houses. Once again, we'll be talking about the next 2 weeks according to your houses, according to sidereal astrology. First things first, man, I do not make the rules. We got a lot of Pisces energy to deal with. Pisces is a massive constellation, and in reference to the human condition, people don't actually deal with Pisces energy, mainly because the spring equinox happens when the new moon is in Pisces, in sidereal. And what that looks to me is people are afraid to do the shadow work. People are afraid to look at the deep emotional triggers. And I went live prematurely. I was going to do like this little skit where another part of me come up out of me and I start talking to myself in reference to how motherfuckers expect their emotions to speak to them. Like, hey man, I'm your deep suppressed emotions and I feel like it's time for you to deal with me. No, emotions don't literally do like that. It'll be you mad at your kids, you mad at your wife, mad at your life. And it's all because some past situation, some past energy that you haven't dealt with, and unresolved trauma, unresolved triggers, past life situations. The real shit that everybody can relate to is the trauma associated with casual sex. That shit is the facts that nobody is talking about it, you know. Motherfuckers actually think that they could just be fucking out here and they don't have no emotional consequences. And then when the new moon is in Pisces, people then take that sexual energy and keep it based, keep it suppressed, when the reality of sexual energy should be raised up in the reference of Kundalini. So since we out here just having sex for sex purposes, we in relationships for relationships purposes, when the energy reaches to Pisces, the understanding is typically missed. The understanding is a bunch of people talking a bunch of rigmarole up and down, new moon in Aries, and the energy is not even springtime energy. And to double down on what would be the springtime, what are we in Florida? It's been spring all year long in Florida. So what does the weather and the seasons have to do in reference to where you live at? I'm gonna give you a hint. It doesn't. The only astrology that a person needs to study is the astrology that you could look up with a telescope and observe for yourself and get a clear image of the energy. Because at the same time, Venus is conjunct the nodes in Aries, which creates new beginning energy. But you might get ahead of yourself by not dealing with the deep emotional traumas that allow themselves to remain deep emotional traumas and not to be shit that you've healed from. So when you deal with this energy, it should be a complete and utter change of form. You can't go into, you gotta literally change the way that you feel, change the way that you think, and it's harder than me talking about it. It's rigorous, it's intense. Because you can be in a new situation, but carry your old energy into it. And unfortunately, that's what you'll see a lot of people dealing with, because the reality is that people don't want to deal with the kundalini of the matter. The kundalini of the matter, the magnetism of the matter. So one would say, I don't have what I want in life. I don't have a new home. I don't have a new vehicle. My finances ain't the way that I want them to be. And my reality, it would be like, you know, I could say that, or I could say, fuck it, I'm gonna magnetize the shit that I want. Like, if I really want something, it's time for me to do the deep and transformative spiritual work. I don't think, like, people might say, you know, manifestation and wanting shit and having shit, as opposed to, that's all fine and good, but it's a clear and easy way to get all of the shit that you want. You do the inner work. The inner work becomes the magnet to all of your desires. That's why I be on this goddamn YouTube every day, because I'm not just fucking talking. I'm studying. And I'm so excited about the study that I'm sharing it with people. Like, look at this shit right here. This energy says that if we raise our kundalini, we magnetize the things in our lives. So one could easily go into this shit like, I need, I want, I desire, I manifest, talking a bunch of hot mumbo jumbo. But the reality is that if you're not working with your energy, if you are not clearly identifying the ways for which you need to change your form entirely and putting the work in, then you're just going to be the same person wanting the same shit. And it's sad. It's sad that as a spiritual being, you do not do spiritual work. What is spiritual work, you might ask? Raising your vibration. What is raising your vibration, you may ask? The way that you feel and emote about your life that you are seeing, you need to completely and utterly stop doing that, because that is the block. If you are in a one-room shack, then you got to think about how your mom pink a act with minks on her back. Does that make sense? If you remember when Marvin Gaye used to sing to you, having you think like black was the thing to be, y'all don't hear me. Now you think about 50-inch screen, leather screens. Got 2 rides, a limousine, and a chauffeur. You don't think about the poverty. You don't think about the iniquity. You don't think about the bullshit. You think about the outcome. You think about the purpose. You think about the ideal. And let me tell you something right now. If that is anything outside of you, anything outside of your collective, anything outside of your family, like the people that you break bread with every day, if you're like not thinking about the best type of energy for that, then there is some suppressed emotional triggers that you have not dealt with. Because you could have woke up today with problems with your landlord because he won his fucking money. That don't even make sense. You could have been mad at your boyfriend because he finding other ways to be happy outside of you. That don't even make sense. You woke up mad at your parents for being flawed and imperfect. That don't even make sense. However, if you didn't do the emotional work, you perfectly fine with feeling a certain type of way of people outside of yourself without doing the internal mental emotional work to say, you know what? I value my relationship. I value my family. So I'm not going to ruin that because of how I feel. I'm going to change the way that I feel and just roll with the punches. I value my business. So I value my employment. I value my place in this collective. So I'm not going to flip the fuck out. I'm going to do the emotional work to sustain this, to build this, to move this forward. Nah, motherfuckers is just really pointing the finger in 2023. Motherfuckers really sitting with their unresolved trauma of previous relationships, previous sneaky links, right? And then projecting it on you, or you're projecting it on them. And then when it's time to do the spiritual work, to tap into the subconscious, to raise it up, to bring that magnetism in at a collective level, people too goddamn selfish. And you'll see it in your relationships. You'll see it in your partnerships. You'll see it in yourself. Shit. You'll see you not doing the thing that you need to do to magnetize. Because the mental illness in fucking randoms on the internet have infiltrated the way for which you relate to people. You relate to people on a screen, a OnlyFans account. You got girlfriends on OnlyFans. Y'all remember in 2020 when the pandemic hit and niggas was legit buying them actual dolls, and that was driving people crazy? Like, people have refused to connect to other people in an emotional, mental, understanding way. All you're going to get is a person's unresolved emotions and triggers, and motherfuckers talking about it's a new moon in Aries. Let's do some new shit now. I'm doing some new shit. Some new shit. Some new shit. New shit, new shit, new shit. Manifestation. Yeah. What about all of them shit that the shit that you was talking about? You know, you almost died in 2022. What about that? What about that Jamaican dick? That Jamaican demon dick you got? You healed from that? No shit, no shit, no shit. No shit, no shit, no shit. That whore Babylon pussy you just had a couple of months ago. That you ain't been right ever since. New shit, new moon in Aries. New moon in Aries. New moon in Aries. Time for some new shit. New shit, new shit. You know Pisces is 45 degrees. New shit, new shit, new shit, new shit, new shit. Pisces, do the spiritual work, do the shadow work. You know, the transformative work. New shit. New shit. New shit. New shit. It's a new moon in Aries. It's a springtime, but it don't feel like springtime because it was just snowing a couple of days ago. One's in the chat. My Northeasterners. Do it feel like summer? Do it feel like spring? Or do it feel like the ending of winter, my nigga? Let's use our common sense. Let's deal with some real alignment and don't jump the gun so fast to, man, niggas got an Apple 13. Niggas get Apple phones every year they come out. People get new TVs, new shit, new restaurants, new places, but never think, hey, this is filling a void for which there is an emotional thing that I've suppressed and I've not dealt with. I look good. I got money, people love me, people respect me, and all that matters. But the things that hurt me, the things that bother me, I don't have to deal with that, because there's really no purpose to deal with that until we start talking about Kundalini and raising your energy and raising your vibration. How much money does it cost to raise your vibration? How much does it cost? What is the payment plan? What is the group for you to raise your vibration and raise your energy and to be able to perceive and hear clearly your spiritual team? That is the work. So let's deal with it. Why you always talking about sex and pussy all the time, hood? Why you always talking about sex and pussy all the time? Because if it wasn't for sex, I would not be here. If it wasn't for sex, none of y'all would be here. So the messaging is very clear. Casual sex is insanity. It represents a level of mental illness. Okay? So therefore, if you don't address it, nothing really going. It's like a puzzle and these pieces is shattered, and people are trying to put these puzzle pieces together and they ain't fitting right, because at the end of the day, they don't feel no shame, no guilt, no remorse for casual sex. When the vessel and the vagina represents the great mother goddess reincarnated on the planet. But a nigga with some fresh Timbs in a fresh lineup in a nice outfit gets access to it for free. There is no standard any longer to enter into the energy of Pisces. That's why when you don't value this energy and you value the patriarchy, which is your finances, your housing, your overall social status, that's what you value, but you don't value the womb, this energy get all kind of confusing. Your children represent Jesus. You represent Mother Mary. Your husband represents Joseph, because your husband ain't really your real husband, because your kids don't come from your husband. Your kids come from God. This is the science of religion in everyday life. Jesus, before Christians followed the cross, their symbol was a fish, but that fish was an allusion to Pisces. Pisces, the opposite sign of Virgo. Virgo representing the Virgin Mary, but Pisces also representing the Virgin Mary, where the Virgin, the physical nature of the energy represented the physical form, and that's Virgo. But the emotional, watery form of Virgo, which is the true God, not Jesus, his mother is the God, because his mother has the womb that brought forth the God. And the only thing that differentiated her from all of the other women in the narrative is that she listened to the angels. Being able to perceive the angels is the key, but you can't perceive the angels and be chasing dick at the same time. You literally got to chill and relax, because some of y'all might not get the sexual attention that you may lack, and that creates a negative emotional energy. The deeper reality is that you're not missing nothing, because magnetism is the name of the game. hygiene is the name of the game. Womb health is the name of the game. If you radiate your energy from the womb inward, outward, then everything takes care of itself. And that is the goddess energy. That is your manifestation. That is your understanding. And this is the energy that we literally live in, because everybody know about Jesus, and the allusion to Jesus is Mary. Right in our faces, but we personify these people and we externalize these people, but in the reality there is no personification, there is no external reality. Everything that we're talking about, all of my divine feminine that's on this chat, they have pussies. All the divine masculines, they got dicks. It's not nasty or gross if it's something that we all have. It's something that we must understand. How is it nasty and gross and we not gonna, y'all like, oh God, he said pussy. Oh God, he said dick, and we all got them. That don't even make sense. Y'all would be triggered if I said finger, right? If I said arm, right? If I said head, right? So why it's like, oh shit, we gotta censor him. He's saying dick and pussy. Oh baby, you can't hear him say dick and pussy. What the fuck you mean? We all have these things. And if we don't understand these things thoroughly, spiritually, metaphysically, we'll be up in church talking about hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, and Jesus is within you. Motherfuckers waiting for a miracle, and they are a miracle. But how do you treat yourself? How do you value yourself? How do you spiritualize yourself? Or do you hold on to the false reality, which is associated heavy emotions, heavy disconnection, a desperate need for something new, and that just ain't the way to go, right? So this Pisces energy, I suggest everybody do shadow work. I suggest everybody develop a clear and concise and deep relationship with your womb. And for a lot of men, that means your mom, because your mom is your God. Your mom brought you into this earth. Your mom changed your shitty ass diapers. Your mom did everything for you that allowed you to be in this position that you at right now, for better or for worse. But your deep suppressed emotions and related to what she did or did not do, we're not clear on this science. We're not clear on this understanding. All right. But hopefully through this understanding, through me going through the houses, you could gain some understanding, because the purpose of these readings is going to be so you could figure out how to transfigure yourself, change your form. And we're not talking about, you know, I'm going to carry my same emotional and mental frequency that I've been carrying because that's just who I am. That's like defeating the purpose of the energy. But what can you change your mind to? What can you change your energy to? So in order to find your house, that would be a link below, I'm pretty sure, AstroSeek, and then you will see the first column where it says free horoscopes. Scroll down to sidereal astrology calculator, then scroll and now bring up your next screen, select transit chart. From there, enter your birth information, make sure the date is March 22nd or somewhere's about, hit calculate transits. And then from there, you will find you find the house that the new moon is in. So if you did this last week, it's going to be in the same house that Jupiter conjunct Chiron is in, because Jupiter, Chiron, as we can see, hold on, give me a second. As we can see, Jupiter, Chiron, the moon, Mercury, Neptune, the vertex, all of these energies are in Pisces. And this is going to be a 7th house full moon, which means that this full moon is going to be deeply centered on your relationships or lack thereof. If you have no relationships, you can't be like, everything is wrong with these motherfuckers out here in these streets. Everything is fucked up with these people out here. No, that's not the case. Something is wrong with you, and this is the work that you must do. Understanding all of these different aspects, Neptune, spiritual development. So you with people that you can smoke with, drink with, shoot the fade with, but you ain't with people that you can meditate with. New moon in Pisces, creating new energies, setting the intention for how you're going to deal with your emotions, right? How are you going to deal with your emotions? Because you know you have them. How are you going to deal with your triggers? Because you know you have them, right? And last week we talked about Jupiter conjunct Chiron. We went through all of the houses. And so this is deep. All of this energy in this Pisces, like it's a major stellium in this Pisces shit. So it's like, if we ever was interested in shadow work, if we was ever interested in solving our problems, now it's almost to the point where you literally gotta just solve them in real time, especially if you're in a relationship, especially if you're in a partnership. Because what's been happening, if you're in a long time partnership, you got kids with somebody, you ain't been telling them everything you want to tell them, how you want to tell them. You've been sugarcoating it, putting little butter on top of it type shit, and that ain't literally getting you nowhere. So to heal, you got to be honest, right? And if you and what really is, most people are not built for this. So many people is going to really try to isolate themselves from you, and so don't be weird. If people acting weird, just know like they not ready to be honest with you. Because to be honest means that they would have had to be honest before they met you with themselves. Because Pisces deals with deep evaluation. Deep evaluation. Who gonna check you, right? For you. Nobody gonna do that. Pisces is where you separate men from boys, girls from women. Because a girl is not going to check herself. A boy is not going to check himself, but a man is. A woman is. You don't got to tell a man, pick up after yourself. You don't got to tell a man, take care of yourself. You don't got to tell a woman, take care of yourself. Have friends. You don't got, but a girl, a boy, you got to constantly tell and motivate. So when you get online and you have these groups of what's perceived to be grown ass motherfuckers in these groups, the very nature of their grouping, because no problem is getting solved, but a motherfucker feel like they need spiritual direction from another motherfucker that is not going to check them. How can I check you and I'm taking money from you? I'm gonna kiss your ass. You gotta check yourself. Most people not going to do that. It's deep within people to look for somebody else to tell them what they need to do spiritually. As if I know your Uncle Elroy and I know your Auntie Pam Pam. I don't know these people. You know them. They transition. You have a relationship with them and you don't have no altar set up. You can run from that. But at the same time, who is going to heal all of the mistakes you made in the mundane reality? The reality of not building a relationship with your ancestors is that you don't have nobody to intercede and heal you from the dumb shit that you do. The only way you can put the toothpaste back into the jar is if you develop a clear relationship with the spiritual world, and that is the two fish. The portal to the spiritual mind is not the mouth. The portal to the spiritual world is not the brain, not the mind. The portal to the spiritual world, where spirits go to and fro, sperm and babies, is the vagina, the womb. That is the portal for spiritual things. So me talking nothing don't matter. Last night, doing the rabbit strokes is my definition of spirituality. Every night. Rabbit strokes. WhiteRabbitPsych.com. Don't let me hit you with the rabbit strokes. All right, so let's deal with this. So we're going to deal with the new moon, and we're also going to deal with Venus conjunct the node. So we're going to deal with the first house. We're going to deal with your second house. Okay. So it's going to be a blend of conversations that we're going to be having. So once I go from house 1 to house 2, it's going to seem a little bit like house 1, but it's going to have a different slant. But you got to start to merge things together when you looking at astrology. First, you look at things compartmentalized, but secondly, you merge them together, because that's just how the fuck it is. Hit her with the rabbit strokes. That's spirituality right there. WhiteRabbitPsych.com is where I get my mojo from. I was hitting them with the wine. Took me 4 little microdose capsules. I felt like a mountain. You ever know what a mountain feel like? It's just big and it's just hard. You just stand strong. That's how I felt last night, off the wine and the microdose capsules. Anyways. My wife's sitting next to me, so I'm just like recapping. We didn't get a chance to recap this morning. So anyways, first house, Aries is going to be Aries is going to be in your, well, Pisces is going to be in your Aries house. So this new moon is about disciplining in reference to your spiritual work, because spiritual work, you do not have to be disciplined in it. The trick is when you decide as a human being that eat pork chop sandwiches, go to the after hours, drink Schlitz malt liquor, bull, do anything to get high. When you as a mundane human decide, you know what? I'm a study tarot, or I'm a study astrology, or I'm a study herbs. And your lace front turn into some locks. That Hennessy used to drink turn into herbal tea. I seen it happen too many times. In reference to spiritual development, you stop doing the dumb shit. So you might be struggling with getting your life in order, but I'm gonna tell you, if you just study something in the realm of cosmic and spiritual light and integrate this light into your life on a consistent, disciplined level, you'll start to change. You'll start to activate dormant DNA. And because you and everybody else is the same at a DNA level, you're now a completely different person. You don't got the lace front no more, talking about where the afty at, where the afty at. You like, where the meditation circle? I'm about to go do yoga. I know hood rats right now teaching yoga classes. 3 years ago, straight hood rat, but feeling like I need to get a reading. You're going to be a spiritual teacher. You're going to be leading, helping people spiritually. I'm going to LA. I'm about to be a city girl, this, that, and the third. All right. Fast forward 3 years from now, she literally doing everything that I said that she would be doing in the reading. Hood rat though. When you do spiritual work, you activate latent DNA. So moving into the Venus side of things, you can't be with motherfuckers that you can't get a bag with, because that don't even make sense. Especially if Taurus is in your second house. Aries is in your second house. Right? If Aries is in your second, let me get this right. Hold on, let me get this right. Cause if Pisces, okay, there I go. Pisces is in your first house. That means that Aries is in your second house. So everything that you do at a subconscious level, I don't know if you got planets in this second house, is about the bag. It's about getting the money. So if people are in your life, they're gonna be just disrupting your subconscious flow. However, if you got a clear picture of where you want to go and the things that you want to do, you'll meet people that have your same thing, because you got to sign up for conferences and shit. You got to like deal with people who have your same. You can't just be dealing with motherfuckers from the neighborhood, people from the block. You gotta, if you're doing real estate, go to real estate conferences, start networking, sharing your number, have networking friends. Them is the people that's going to help bring out Aries in the second house. Okay, Venus conjunct the nodes. Now you in your real estate bag. Now you go from, I was into real estate, studying it. This next cycle is gonna be real estate mogul or dance instructor or singer extraordinaire, right? Because you've been doing open mics and you like trying to do my singing thing, and now you got a placement with Beyonce. That's Venus conjunct the nodes in your second house, but it's in Aries, so you gotta initiate it. You gotta let motherfuckers know you a singer. How you let motherfuckers know you a singer? You do open mics, you do TikToks every day, but you are in the vein of, this is what I'm trying to do, and people gotta tell you, I like the way you doing this real estate shit. You got a gift, or you know what I'm saying? You can't just be like, I'm a singer, but don't nobody like my music. People telling you you're a good singer, and you just gotta keep consistent with it. And that's opportunity, and that's luck, because you'll meet somebody, because Venus is now conjuncting your nodes. So yeah, let's deal with house 2. We are waking and baking with the Hood Mystic. Hopefully you got your coffee, your tea, I'm saying, however you do it, right? Some of y'all doing meditation and yoga, things of that nature. Thank y'all for rocking with me. WhiteRabbitPsych.com, ColumbianExchange.com. Join the Substack. Get your booty smacked. Why do girls like that booty smack so much? Like, what is that? Because if a motherfucker smack my booty, we gonna fight. Don't ever smack my booty. But girls be like, ooh, stop. Why you do that? Huh? Because y'all like it. I wouldn't smack booties if girls didn't like it, they booty smacked. I would never think like, man, a girl gonna love this when I smack it. But one time I was just, in the back of something and she like, smack my ass. I'm like, what? She like, yeah, smack my ass. So I go, okay, I smack it. She like, okay, smack it harder. Okay, smack it. So I'm smacking it. It gets to a point when you smacking ass though, where your hands start hurting and she just like, smack it harder. You like, no, my fucking hand about to fall off, girl. I ain't about to smack your ass no harder than that. Matter of fact, I'm done smacking ass. So you smack ass up into the point where you get like them prickly things on your hands, all the blood rushing to your hands and shit like that. Like, all right, I'm done. You won't get your ass smacked no more for the rest of the session, as far as I'm concerned. House 2. So once again, Pisces is in your second house, and this is about finding your value. Like this goes across the board, but how the second house is a value house, and it's real hard to do Kundalini work and you value something else other than your energy, right? When you value in something more than who you are as a spiritual being. So if it is within your second house, and if you don't have a birth time, this is for you, because you gotta, like, I know my birth time, but I like studying all of the houses. I pull something from each and every one of the houses and I get a good, feel for the energy. So at the end of the day, it's always going to help me, even though whatever. But say for instance, you identify the value of your spiritual energy, then you start to incorporate that into, you become a spiritual parent, a spiritual friend, a spiritual lover, a spiritual teammate, right? Much different than just being regular, because Pisces is about doing the spiritual work, which is identifying our deep emotional shit that we have suppressed, pulling up under the rug, facing it, and removing its power, because it doesn't make sense for something to be under the rug but then have all of the power over how we're going to feel about some shit. That don't make sense. So if you know that you are lacking value somewhere in your life, don't just take pride in that shit. Do y'all know how many books I read because I was a dumbass, freaking black and mouths and shit, and I ain't like that about myself? Why am I so dumb? My first books was for dummies, astrology for dummies, because I was a dummy. Teach me some shit. Man, I buy books because I'm dumb as hell. I don't know nothing innately about shit that I don't know about. Don't know about being a parent. The science of love, the theory of love, because I didn't even know about fucking love. We think we know about love because our mom bought us some fucking Nintendos for fucking Christmas, some new shoes and shit. Oh, our mom must love us. But the layers of love is deep, because self-love, spiritual love. All of these things begin to be a whole different way between how you connect to people. So another things will happen in spiritual dynamics and high vibratory dynamics in reference to gods and goddesses is polygamy. It happens up here. Don't happen down there. Down there is that nigga cheating. You a piece of shit. Fuck you, nigga. Child support. Up here is, oh, that's a god. I can't lose him. So I'ma just play my position and play my role on this goddamn team. The nigga who owned the grocery store, the African who owned the grocery store or owned the business, and he got 5 wives, ain't none of them bitches acting like they missing out on shit. Cause they already know that most niggas don't own a fucking grocery store. Most niggas work at a grocery store. So I'm gonna be a part of this goddamn conglomerate, this team, cause I ain't about to be fucking working with the help. That's up here. Down there is all this nigga got all these hoes and these niggas sneak ball creeping and shit like that. So value narratives, same thing, right? Pisces in your second house, woo! You might have felt like you was the president and manifested president energy. You might have felt like you was a low life and manifested low life energy, and you never got a chance to get your hands back on the reins, because your emotions and your value, your narrative and your value, if you don't understand that these things go hand in hand, you could be whooping your own ass. So once again, our negative, deep, repressed emotions don't knock on our door one day. Who is it? It's your deep, negative, repressed emotions about your daddy. I'm here for you to face me, so you can get over me, so you can begin to love your husband in a clear, spiritual way. Never happened. You gotta see yourself being a bitch to your husband and say, hold on, where is this coming from? And begin to do that work. Because by the time it becomes is me being angry towards my wife, the trigger have already rooted and grew and blossomed to me calling you an ain't shit bitch. Let's deal with Venus in your third house. You might need some help with correlating narrative and value. Because one would say, all right, I'm the king of the world. That's my value. But it's in Pisces. Pisces means that there is no shortcut. There is no cheat code. There is no secret trick to get past it. Even when you think you got past it, you just created another layer of karma that you're gonna have to face at a certain point in time. To which dealing with it creates dharma, or pain-free and stress-free and deeper magnetization and higher raised kundalini energy. But saying, oh, it don't matter that I was molested when I was 7. All dudes get molested when they was 7, right? But when you think about it, being molested when you 7 don't even matter when you in a relationship with a woman when you grown, because when you was 7, you was a little kid. And when you was a little kid and you an adult, the stuff that happened when you was a little kid don't even matter no more. So yeah, I'm gonna treat you as perfectly fine and normal because as I don't actually have to deal with the sexual violations that I dealt with as a child, you know, from older women, because that was a badge of honor to me. You need help from your ancestors. You need help from guides. If you are in a situation where you got to put toothpaste back in a toothpaste, you got a baby daddy, you got a baby mama, you got a sexual situation that ain't right. You don't know what the fuck to do. Because maybe you too gullible, maybe you too naive, or maybe you didn't value yourself and you created an energy that attracted an energy that was low value. So now you feel like, okay, I'm ready to raise myself up, but now I have this karmic attachment. How are you going to get rid of that by yourself? You can't get rid of it by yourself. So Venus conjunct the nodes, it opens you up to spiritual awareness. And this relationship is yours, and you have to build it and you have to foster it. Energies such as Kuan Yin, Isis, Kali. But if you was a goofy ass chick out here falling in love with cute niggas, giving them access to your Piscean energy, how you don't value that. You can't never value your sex by being casual. Can't do it. You have to value your sex by being selective, by being exclusive, by understanding that access to you is access to God. So if you're serious about the value work and you need help, work with energies. It's too many energies to name. Work with your ancestors. It's too many ancestors to name, but you need help beyond the mind that got you into this shit. My mind would say, man, I need to go get a black and mild from the store. That's what my mind would think. Yeah, let me freak this black and mild and stand on this corner and smoke this black and mild and watch the cars pass all day. Y'all ever be driving down the street and niggas be standing on the corner smoking weed and smoking black and milds and drinking beer and shit? They mind tell them to do that. Now, if you was ever to open your eyes to spiritual guidance, your spirit might say, man, don't stand on this corner. Don't even smoke black and milds. This shit affecting your heart health, right? So if you can allow yourself to channel these energies and allow yourself to change your behaviors through the understandings that you built. Now, Venus conjunct the nodes is a portal. It's an opening. If you need guidance, you may not get it from humans. Spirit, they say right now, it's free, but we do require an offering. So things that you already have. If you already have food, you can take a piece of your food and offer it. But don't come empty-handed, but you don't have to pay no money. All right. So let's move on to House 13. House 13. Okay, we're talking about transfiguration. We're talking about the change of form, right? And for the third house, Pisces being in your third house, you don't get access to the spiritual dimensions without doing work to separate you from everybody else. You have to have your separation, but then you have to do the work. So this is Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga separates you enough so that your spirit can start to talk to you. This is real shit, right? Being in the midst of your kids, in the everyday, waking up, go to work, all that type of energy, you're not separated enough for your spirit to talk to you. So you in the process of thinking and emoting, and it's not allowing you to grow. But say for instance, you say, all right, I'm going to do yoga 20 minutes a day. That's enough, right? So the deeper aspect of this is that it's in your third house, and this is the house of the lovers. This is the house, and Pisces is two fish, it's two partner energies. So what that means is that whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not, right? Everything that you're experiencing spiritually, you reflect that in your partner. Whoa. So if you do the spiritual work, you begin to see the love of your partner. If you don't, you see the lack of your spiritual work in your partner's negative energy. Very spooky quantum level shit. And you will be like, I just want my man to treat me right. Do 20 minutes of yoga, ho. He'll be treating you all types of sexy. Nigga be eating pussy for 3 hours. All because you decided to do some yoga. Give you them long deep strokes for the rest of the night. And you like, oh my God, why is you giving me these strokes like this? Because you meditated for 20 minutes out your day. So if Pisces is in your third house and you are single, do not avoid loving yourself. Do not avoid masturbation. Do not avoid making sure that you feel good about who you are. Right? So if you you single, so that means you had a past relationship, and how you feel about that past relationship is basically how you feel about yourself. Now, if it was a ghosting situation, or you just up and left and you didn't get any closure, and you find yourself single, but you want to get into some new relationships, then you got to call that nigga back. You got to call her back, and you got to close. Like, you can't just be leaving people and ghosting people because they don't make you feel good. You got to call them and seek closure. Now you say, well, I can't call him. I don't know his number. I blocked them. She blocked me. I can't get closure. Well, create the closure through journaling. The reason why we not together is so you could go on and be a stripper, and I could continue on my path of being a Christian minister, and we'll meet each other in the afterlife. I release you and you release me. I've learned a lot from our relationship, and I'm happy that we experienced this relationship, but now this relationship is over. The end. That's closure. If you are in a relationship, like I said earlier, if it's something that bothers you about them, it's in deep relation to your ability to connect with your soul. Everything about your partner has everything to do with you. So if you love your partner and you can't get enough of your partner, you must be real serious about your spiritual work. If you can't stand that nigga and you can't and you every time you see him you get pissed off, then you probably haven't meditated for 20 minutes. If you got kids with somebody and y'all got problems and y'all having a rough patch, seek to heal that anger. Seek to deal with the suppressed energy and let it rise up out of you so y'all can renew and restore the energy that y'all have already created. Once again, suppressing negative energy does not allow you to deal with it. And you can't just simply deal with it because you want to deal with it. You have to do a spiritual thing that is helping you help put that toothpaste back in that tube. So developing Kundalini yoga, or just yoga in general, consistently will help you heal and deal with these repressed energies in your womb. How you not doing yoga? How you not doing no stretching, but you want to heal the past? Paying a bitch some money so she can talk to you? That don't even make sense. All right, if Venus is in your 4th house, conjunct the nodes, focus on your gut and gut health. You can have a flat tummy and still have horrible gut health. So what we're talking about is fitness, proper diet, and doing these things together. These create a portal that allow you, if you are single, to magnetize a relationship, or if you are in a relationship, to renew and restore the energy, because now you are a sexy motherfucker, right? You done let yourself go, and now niggas looking at you crazy. How you got morning breath and it's the evening? That don't even make sense. So now you taking care of yourself, breath fresh, right? Breasts looking sexy, stomach looking flat. You got some flat tummy tea from Colombian Exchange. Like everything is working for you, right? Everything is happening for you the way you wish it would be happening for you. Now he can't keep his mouth off your goddamn vagina. Like you trying to be like, damn, I need some time to walk around the house, you know, to eat. And you can't even walk around the house because he too busy eating you. Because all you did was do your fitness, your proper diet, and your yoga, and you was consistent because you was seeking to heal, and you was also seeking to connect. You don't connect by sitting doing the same regular shit you've been doing, watching the same regular shit you've been watching, right? You connect by doing the deep, transformative, gut-wrenching spiritual work that requires action. That's how you change. So if you're not doing yoga and you're not engaging in nothing, but you wishing for changes, you just talking shit. The 4th house. So this would mean that Pisces is in your 4th house, right? Pisces in the sign of Cancer. So, excuse me, the 4th house, the 8th house, and the 12th house are going to be areas within the chart where the emotions have to be addressed. The shadow has to be addressed, because when you are referencing the shadow and you are referencing the emotions, you are referencing the thing that is holding you back, the thing that is stopping you, the thing that is blocking you, thinking it is your obstacle, because you can't even think the thought that you need to think that is going to heal you, because the emotions are so visceral and strong. So when you have an emotional imbalance, it could be, okay, I need to stop eating so much. But you can't even make that decision because the emotions are so real. So once again, paying attention to this is how you deal with this 4th house energy. You don't deal with it by just saying new moon in Aries, new shit, and you haven't really allowed yourself to examine what has been holding you back thus far. So once again, a theme from the 2nd house, narrative equates to value. A false narrative, right, is also a false value. But where did these emotions come from? These emotions come from real hurt, real abandonment issues that you have to sit with and toil over, and so much so that they become so painful that your brain says, man, I can't deal with this shit. Let me force this shit under a rug. So now the work becomes having a healthy relationship with the past, not letting that be so painful, because I could talk about emotional eating, I can talk about sexual addictions, I can talk about a variety of things that people go and process with, but the deeper aspect of it is that it is the past narrative. It is something that has It is something that has held us back up until this point. And if Pisces is in your 4th house, that means Aries is in your 5th house. So you are always going to seek out sexual connections and bonds with people. But that's not nurturing you, right? That is not facilitating or establishing a connection more than it is of initiating something. So when you are able to do the deep, transformative, emotional work that the 4th house in Pisces, albeit comes with, you're able to not look at people as hookups or sexual pleasure things or initiations or sexual contacts. You can look at that same energy, right? And say, I'm sexually attracted to you, but I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. What you will notice is that how you nurture shit. That's how you have relationships. And what you'll notice is that you might have an abundance of motherfuckers in your life that are able to help you, but you probably didn't see it because you was probably focused on the sexual aspect, right? But sexual, right? Sexual is also spiritual. Spiritual and sexual, same thing. But the evolution of it, the Venus conjunct the North Node, is for you to be illuminated through your partnerships. Not to be like, well, crash and burn, basically. But simply raising this energy and becoming a real life portal to success, because your partnerships, like I said, this is a 7th house new moon. So if your partnerships are just like sex, I'm sorry, but my fault. Your partnership should be more than sex. Your partnership should be in the realms of intelligence, in the realms of spiritual development, especially if you're sexually attracted and you have a sexual connection. Instead of inviting them over for a sneaky link, invite them over for a conversation. Invite them over for some tea. Go on a photo shoot. Like, oh, some real shit. Shoot some OnlyFans content. The 5th house. So once again, this would mean that Pisces is in your 5th house. And the 5th house is ruled by Leo. And Leo is about being on the front line. And how do you be on the front line? How do you access your front line energy? Well, let's just break this down simply. What's the likelihood of a dude saying, hey man, I just ran into Beyonce at the club, man. I fucking took her to the hotel room and fucked the shit out of Beyonce. What's the likelihood of a dude saying that? I answer that question for you. Slim to none, right? Why? Because Beyonce is embodying that Leo energy. She is successful. She is on the forefront, and the vagina is not available to a nigga. This is a hard thing to understand for modern women and just women that's just in their basic life. They feel like, it's normal to give my pussy away. Right? It's normal to just, have sex. But Beyonce don't think like that. Ashanti don't think like that. Like, you can have sex, but they real select. Like, you can't just, I seen Beyonce come on and down on goddamn Livernois. She had a damn sneaky link with one of the hood niggas. Never. But it is girls that's having sneaky links over on Livernois or in the neighborhood near you. So we talking about lower energy versus higher energy. Beyonce could have been the neighborhood, what they say, everybody get a turn. Or she said, you know what? I'm gonna be singing these songs. I'm gonna be practicing my dance moves. I'm gonna be taking that sexual energy and converting it into currency later in my life. Now, how is it going to manifest for a person? You don't necessarily know, but I guarantee success for any divine feminine that values their sexual energy. I guarantee success for you if you say, you know what, none of these niggas can have access to me because the work that I'm doing is my Kundalini work. And the person that has access to me is going to be magnetized through the work that I do. This is Kundalini energy. What happens is women are too deliberate. They know everything that they need to know. And so they're not surprised by what spirit has for them. Because they already know what spirit has for them. No, the fuck you don't. You have no idea what spirit has for you. You have no fucking clue. You can't even fathom this. You literally have to do the work, put your best foot forward, and wait for motherfuckers to respond. So once again, we are in the realm of the fifth house. We are in the realm of Kundalini. This Pisces energy is about Kundalini. So we're doubling down on Kundalini energy. So once again, how do you stimulate Kundalini? You watch the hottest show on Netflix and motherfucking drink beer and eat chicken wings. No, you either going to exercise, you either going to stretch, or you either going to do yoga. The end. You too lazy to do that? Then you're not going to activate Kundalini. You're going to have your same thoughts. You're going to have your same emotions. That's like saying, well, I want to have sex. Well, you got to get with a dude and he got to stick his penis inside of you. Oh, I don't want to do that. Well, you're not going to have sex. Well, I want to go to the store. Well, you got to go to the goddamn Kroger and walk into the doorway. I don't want to do that. Well, you can't go to Kroger. I want to activate my Kundalini, do yoga, stretching, breathing techniques, meditation, work towards activating your Kundalini. That's too hard. I don't want to do that. Leo energy, moon and Leo, fifth house energy. You will be successful, but you do have to do the work. You do have to do the work. And the work is not talking to these bitches about shit that you already know. These girls will tell you the sky is blue and charge you $1,000 a month. These girls will tell you water is wet and charge you $1,000 a month. These girls will charge you $1,000 a month for shit that you can Google online for free. So once again, Venus will be in your sixth house of service. So if you decide that this does make sense, yoga would stimulate my Kundalini, but I'm gonna do it for 2 days and see how it work out for you. It don't work like Venus, that would make Aries be in your sixth house. So your ability to be disciplined towards your daily tasks means everything. And if you are not disciplined in your daily tasks, that means your health will suffer. Virgo is directly, indirectly connected. It's ruled by the spleen. You can't directly influence your spleen, but you can indirectly influence your spleen. So what would happen is a farmer would cultivate his land in a righteous way, and he would find a loving and doting wife that's going to take care of his children and raise his family, because the way that he loved his farm is the way that his wife loved him. And the way that his wife loved him is the way that his children loved him. Right? So once again, if you selfish, none of the shit that I'm saying even fucking applies to you. We are all a part of the Watchmen, right? We are living in watches. We are cogs. So if I'm a cog and I'm spinning, and that's just my job and responsibility, but you feel like I don't need to do this shit, I don't feel like doing this shit, I ain't gonna spin, I ain't gonna do shit, you just gonna say, all right, I'm gonna stop spinning. you know what happens? The whole fucking watch stopped working. The whole watch. So just because you felt like it, you ruined the whole entire collective. So you can't be selfish. You literally got to know your responsibilities, and you got to know why they're your responsibilities. You got to know why you need to do them, and you got to understand that it can't just be specifically about you. The sixth house is your house of service. So if you can have an idea of finding where you can be of service, then Venus conjunct the nodes is that portal for that indirect, direct connection of, if I plant this seed, I can feed myself. That's indirect. You don't know that if you put a seed in the dirt, that is going to make sure that you're not going to be hungry in the winter months. That's not just common sense. That's an indirect, direct influence. So by being consistent on your yoga, being consistent on activating the Kundalini, being consistent on raising your vibration, you open up a portal. And that portal is going to lead you to what is said completion, because Pisces and Virgo share axes that represent completion. As we stated earlier, the Virgin Mary emotional, the Virgin Mary physical represents the Virgin Mary as one. But what made the Virgin Mary the hottest shit in the world? She listened to Archangel Gabriel. She listened to spirit. She had claircognizance. She had clairvoyance. And this is what makes us gods. But we don't just say, oh, I made a lot of money, I'm a goddess. Oh, I'm pretty, I'm a goddess. Oh, I got a lot of followers, I'm a goddess. No, I've done the spiritual work that have cleared me of my emotional baggage so I can hear spirit clearly. Now I'm a goddess. I can say that 1,000,000 times and niggas will never hear me say it, but it's all good though. Sixth house. So we're talking about Virgo. So we're blending, if you're new to the chat, we're blending our new moon and Venus conjunct readings. And so the new moon will be in the sixth house and Venus conjunct the North Node will be in the seventh house. And then we'll go to the seventh house or the new. So it's going to be a blend, but that's what life is. Life blends, right? And I feel like all of this energy can resonate with us at a certain level. So moving forward to the sixth house, which is ruled by Virgo, that would mean Pisces is in your sixth house. So what would you have to do? You would have to balance your farming life. You would have to balance your health. And that is your magnet to finances. One's in the chat. If y'all with me, if y'all can hear me, if y'all can understand me, have y'all ever heard them say health is wealth? Y'all ever heard people say health is wealth? Well, they're embodying the Virgo Pisces axis. You ever heard somebody say health is wealth? Because when you take care of your health, you are able to perceive, you are able to think, you are able to have comprehension, which puts you in the game to get the bag. Right? When you don't have proper health, you may be getting money, right? But a lot of your money is going to the thing that is breaking you down, right? So focusing on money alone means that, you know, you're gonna have the money, but you might not have the health. And this is mental, emotional, physical. And if you don't have the health, then the money that you get will be spent on trying to spend $3,000 on getting your teeth together, you know, shit like that, you know, because you didn't take the time to take care of something. And then when it fucks up, then you now have to spend a lot of money to help balance yourself. Like medical professions and people make a lot of money because we don't take care of ourselves. So if reference for you wanting to have a lot of money, take care of yourself. So dealing with this, you're dealing with the hermit energy. And if you are isolating yourself that's fine. You don't gotta be like, all right, I need to find people. I wouldn't say that. I would say raise your magnetism. I would say also get into some no fap and also work out. All of these things you should be doing, so when you are in the presence of somebody, you're showing them that I've been working on myself. I've been healing. If you've been alone, watching porn, not working out, when people finally do see you, they're gonna be like, ugh, right? You look a mess. Okay? So once again, we're talking about Venus moving into your 7th house. Venus conjunct the North Node is an opportunity, if you're single, for you to find your forever, right? If you are in a relationship and Venus is conjunct the nodes in your 7th house, this is a time for you and your partner to renew your vows. You have to renew your vows, because if you just been with somebody for a long time and you haven't, that's not the reason that y'all first got together. We're gonna be together for a long time in the future and stress each other out. So let's be together now. That don't even make sense. People would never say that. They saying, I like you right now for the person that you are. And the person that you are right now is the person that I'm really fucking with. So quite simply, all you have to do is rekindle that energy that y'all first established. It's like, and if you are in a relationship with somebody and it's like, no, I don't see them like that no more, then maybe you need to utilize Venus conjunct the North Node to introduce a sneaky link, or introduce polygamy, or introduce a new person into your relationship that, you know, would create that balance or create that value for you. It's very important that relationships feel new and exciting. And if you can't conjure that in your relationship, you can definitely conjure it through a new and exciting relationship, meaning that Venus conjunct the North Node. So once again, the trick to attracting is magnetism. The trick to magnetism is raising your energy. The trick to raising your energy is understanding your emotions. The trick to understanding your emotions is to understand your unresolved triggers and unresolved past. Going down this rabbit hole of yourself, as you no longer focus on your problems, you begin to focus on your solution, which increases your magnetism and allows you to be in blissful relationships or union, if it's with the person that you've been with or a new person. So that's always available. So now we're dealing with the new moon conjunct the 7th house. The new moon would be in your Libra house. So of course we're talking about partnerships. This doesn't have to be relationships. Could be somebody that you work with, somebody that you are close to, but just look at it as your primary partnership. Could even be your kids. Take some time to make sure that you're all on the same page. Because in reference to a partnership, if two people are in a partnership and they are not on the same page, then there is no real solution in the union. If you are able to, within this 2 weeks, take a trip, go on a vacation, maybe go on a restaurant, have a date, do something for which y'all can talk, get on the same page. Because this might seem trivial, but if you're gonna be with somebody for a long time and y'all don't even know if y'all are on the same page together, that would be a long time of lack of direction. And yeah, that's just not the way to go. And of course, if you got, and I will go more into the 8th house, Venus conjunct the North Node. If you got things in your life that remind you of the past. It could be clothes, it could be furniture. With this new moon energy, it's very important to get rid of that shit, right? If you are understanding anything about feng shui, do that shit. You know, if you got a house, okay, you was in a relationship with somebody, the relationship didn't end out, and the apartment is the same way that it was when you was in the relationship with the previous person. Well, to create new energy, you need to rearrange the fucking apartment. So now you got a different apartment that's going to bring in different energy. Really tap into this feng shui. So if you can create a new energy in your room, a new energy in your living room, Venus conjunct the North Node, that portal allows for new energy to enter into this new environment. So if you reorganize your home, it's going to be a new home. If you reorganize your workspace, it's a new workspace. And now you get in different types of clients, different types of leads, because now you've changed some shit, right? And when you change some shit, you trigger your subconscious mind to create a new reality for you. We are in the 8th house energy. So this would mean that Pisces is in your Scorpio house, okay? In a new moon in the 8th house, if you ever experienced sexual trauma or were never appropriately introduced into the divinity of sexual connection, you know, it's never a wrong time to get right with the energy. Just because you was giving it up to the football team don't mean that you can't get right with your divinity. So if you do have these experiences where you weren't told about the divinity of your womb, this is a time to do so with this new moon. So this new moon, if you have 8th house, if you have Pisces in your 8th house, I would celebrate this new moon. If I was a divine feminine, I would steam the womb, right? I would do a womb steam, yoni steam. You can get yours from White Rabbit Psychedelic. You can get yours from Columbian Exchange. We also have the float supplements where we have a special. You can get float supplements and a steam all in one package. Be sure to click the first link in our description for that. For men, a good thing to do, if you can have your wife do it, or you can actually do it yourself, where you get you some massage oil and you do a deep phallus and scrotum massage, where you're not like jagging off or getting a hand job or nothing like that, but you're in the spirit of anointing and sanctifying your divine phallus and your divine scrotum. So really working with your sexual organs through this new moon energy is going to help you with the proper intention and ritual to heal your sexual trauma or lack of sexual education. So if Venus conjunct the North Node falls in your 9th house, this means you must make some travel plans, right? And if you can't make travel plans because you're working, you don't got enough money, do different shit when you're on your lunch break, you know, travel a different way till you get to work. And also like if you can't travel, at least go to BW3s and get some potato skins and no bacon, right? At least go get some drinks, right? But it's very important as these energy transitions into spring that you get out and enjoy what it means to be alive. Working every day, taking care of your kids, your mundane reality is not what makes you feel alive. So it's okay to set up some shit with your friends to go out. You know, I'm sure if you need a babysitter, just bring them over here. I'll watch your kids. Well, I'm only watching them for 2 hours. And if you want to get a hotel room afterwards, that's going to be $150 an hour. If he willing to pay that, then you can get you some sneaky link energy. But other than that, have a nice date out and I'll watch your kids. That's only if you're in the Detroit area. But other than that,
well, you watch kids.
I'm watching the kids. I'm watching the kids. I'm gonna watch the kids. Yeah, I'm redirecting my energy. I'm about to become a babysitter. My wife think I'm trying to set her up for the whoopty. I'm serious. I'm gonna be the one that's gonna watch. I'm gonna be the one that's watching the kids.
We need a babysitter for our own damn kid.
This is the thing. I'm trying to be indirect, direct. If I decide to watch everybody else's kids, maybe I can find a babysitter for our kids. See how that works? I'm just trying different shit out. You know, it's 2023. You got to try different things. All right. So, 9th house. If you got 9th house, if you got a new moon happening in your 9th house, that means that Pisces is in your Sagittarius house. And so this is a time to really bring it all together, right? If you are working or if you are in your life and you've been like practicing and doing the spiritual life under the surface, kind of in your quiet time, alone time, this is the time to begin to incorporate it all. Because when I start talking about the 9th house and 10th house, 11th house and 12th house, this new moon represents major transitions for you. So what turns into a regular job becomes a spiritual job for you, right? It's like you have a hustle, a side hustle. You have a thing that you are very, very good at. And you may not be able to quit your day job today, but you can begin to allocate time to develop that. So next year, because you set the intention now, so by next year, you will be able to quit your day job. You will be able to have all of your income come from your hobby or side hustle, or the place where you provide the most value. And the place where you provide the most value is also the place where you receive the most value. So you'll be making a whole bunch of money next year if you take the time and set the intention, right? So one wants to be clear about this. Venus conjunct the North Node in your 10th house. You got to be able to deal with your higher self. And you can't really deal with your higher self by just simply going through the everyday, monotonous, mundane, everybody conversation. Did you see what happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith? Beyonce looked good on tour. Did you listen to the Drake album? Blah, blah, blah. That is not dealing with your higher self. So throughout this next 2 weeks, if you can, retreat out into nature. Book a hotel room in another city, another town, another state. Go to another country if you can, but isolate yourself to find yourself. Now, one will say, why do I need to do this? Because your Aries is in your 10th house. So if Aries is in your 10th house, you have to initiate your ability to connect with your higher self. And if you don't initiate connecting with your higher self, then your higher self just don't come knocking on your door. Who is it? It's me, nigga. It's your higher self. I'm trying to elevate you. I'm trying to elevate you, nigga. Right? It don't happen like that. You need to create the connection. You have to initiate the connection because Aries is in your 10th house, right? So if you are able to open up this portal, Venus conjunct the North Node in your 10th house, this is going to be something that's going to last a lifetime. This is going to be the thing that elevates you and ascends you. As I'm saying, the people who have this new moon in their 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th houses, you are our leaders, right? But you need to see it within yourself. You need to be bold enough, strong enough, and separate yourself from the collective. right? Stand on the spiritual truth that you have developed and share this spiritual truth that you developed because you actually done the work. You didn't just follow the crowd. Okay, so if you can find the time, space, and energy to separate yourself, meditate, connect with your higher self, okay, cool, right? This is what needs to happen for you if Venus conjunct the node is in your 10th house. So we'll talk about the new moon in your 10th house. Right. So the new moon in your 10th house, once again, we're talking about the leaders now. We're talking about the people a year from now that will be, on another level, right? We talking about people like Ice Spice. Shout out to Ice Spice. She gonna be the next version of Nicki Minaj in the future, right? She's the real deal. I knew she was the real deal, and then I looked up her real name. Guess what her real name is? Isis. I said, you can't even make that shit up. I knew it was spiritual. Like, I don't know. Sometimes people just have a certain light that they carry. Ice Spice is just one of those people. Moving forward, if you have a new moon in your 10th house, because you have a deep connection with your higher self, Pisces being in your 10th house, that other side of you is very clear. And once again, it's not always deliberate and as clear as you would like. It's usually as impulses. It's usually as prompts. Now, you got to follow your impulses and you got to follow your prompts, because if Pisces is in your 10th house, it's also saying that you can't follow the crowd. It's also saying that you can't listen to nobody. And your problem is probably thinking that you can listen to somebody. And because you listen to somebody, you will always crash out. In order for you to not crash out, in order for you to evolve and elevate, you have to listen to your higher self. So once again, we are eliminating all false narratives. We're eliminating all hive mind conspiracies. And we are literally following our higher self and becoming the person that we love. Not loving the person that is outside of us, but becoming the person that we love. And this is the work. Now, if you become the person that you love, now you activate Venus conjunct the North Node. And Venus conjunct the North Node in your 11th house, your Aquarius house, is the new tribe. Not the tribe called Quest, but the tribe called the one that you created. Right? You don't need a Q-tip for that. You use the earwax candles. Right? And this is your spirit team in real life. And you find these people because you didn't go the path of the crowd. You went the path of impulses. You went the path of following your spirit and higher self, and that elevated you up a mountain. And so once you elevated up that mountain, you found a whole bunch of other people who share and carry your same resonance. So now the things you do with them will be things that you never could have did with people that you grew up with, right? And because Venus conjunct the North Node is in the 11th house, you got to figure out what you can do for people. The great John F. Kennedy said, ask not what you can do for your country, but ask what you can. No, I said that wrong way. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. So in reference to your tribe, in reference to your collective, don't be worried about what you can get out of it. Only specifically worry about what you contribute to it, because we are spiritual and we understand the relationship between indirect, direct, right? So I can do this video, put a lot of energy into it, and it might not get the most views, right? But I operate under the law of indirect, direct. I'm gonna give you the most quality of information, and you might not even be able to perceive it or understand it. But I gotta do it this way. I gotta give it all to the collective, because when it comes to the head that I like to get, I like head where my girl is just giving me her whole entire throat. You feel me? So, but I give my whole entire throat to these videos. It's just an indirect, direct way of looking at life, you know? And I just be like throwing in little jokes to make sure that y'all still following me. So hopefully you can chuckle a little bit. So shout out to, once I said again, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. If this new moon is happening in your 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th house, you represent the future leaders. You are evolving into your role as a leader. So once again, this new moon is in your 11th house. Cool. You want to be a leader. You can't give half-ass energy and want to be a leader. If you can't give, you can't expect nothing in return. Right? If this energy is in your 11th house and you say, I'ma be a boss ass bitch, 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 I'm a boss ass bitch, 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 bitch. Well, then that means you were giving a lot to the situation. That means you have a lot of skills, talents, and abilities to give to the situation. That means you have a lot to offer. That's why you sing that song with such authority and such passion. Because you know that you're a boss ass bitch, 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 bitch. And because you're a boss ass bitch, you can't boss yourself. So that means you can't have a new moon in the 11th house, be a future leader, and isolate yourself. The 11th house opposes the 5th house, which represents our hidden talents. So in reference to what we bring to the collective and being the boss ass bitch that we are is more tied into our 5th house, our talents, our craft, our abilities, and this what we bring to the collective. But we got to be real clear on this shit. Does this shit benefit other people? That's why I be real keen on getting reviews. Cause I don't be getting reviews to front or to boast. I be getting reviews cause sometimes I get a review and it'll be negative and it make me step my game up. But I'm not gonna just be, if people didn't give me thousands of reviews or my readings, my services, my products, 5-star reviews, I would have been a fucking truck driver. But if it benefit other people, sign me up, right? This is how I acknowledge my 11th house. So once again, Venus conjunct the nodes in your 12th house, which would mean Aries is in your 12th house. You reach the point where the cycle has ended, but it's also old endings equate to new beginnings. So this cycle is a cycle that have started in 2011. For all of us, this cycle started in 2011. This was the major gateway cycle for spiritual transformation. And this is the ride that we've been on. And we have created an ending point that's also created a new starting point. So hopefully you are able to reflect on everything that has happened since 2011 to now and realize that you are a completely changed, transfigured being. You don't wear lace fronts no more. You don't wear quick weaves no more. You don't wear makeup. You don't wear fake nothing, fake nails. You just as real as they come. And you are beautiful. Right? Before 2011, you thought you needed a perm. You thought you needed makeup. You thought you needed a goddamn some shoes from Charlotte Russe, an outfit from 21 to feel beautiful. Now you just walk out the house damn near naked. You show us what ascension looks like because you are able to synthesize and initiate all of this Piscean energy and make it have a specific look. So this is my fashion designers, my stylists, my artists, my creatives. Deep level collective consciousness creators, you are able to push the envelope forward by bringing forward your creative talents. You represent the leaders, and I cannot stress this enough. Setting the attention to become the leader is your responsibility, my Naga. Your responsibility. Once again, continuing the theme, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th house, this new moon happening for you. You represent the leader class. Spiritually, generals. In the spiritual war, we fight every day, whether you know it or not. Your higher self is fighting a spiritual war. Regardless of what you thinking or what you processing or what you dealing with, it's a war being happening. And this represents the antithesis of it, right? Because this means if your new moon is in your 12th house, that also means that Pisces is your 12th house. That means that Aries is in your first house. That means that your chart is divine. Is there anybody here that their new moon is happening in their 12th house? Is anybody in the chat? If anybody can comment. I love reading charts like this where your chart just falls perfectly. It is as perfect as it can get. So what does this mean for you? This means that you've done a lot of bullshit. Right? Because once again, your higher self isn't going to come to you. Who is it? It's me, nigga. It's your perfection. You perfect. That don't even work that way. You got to go through the trials and tribulations in the trial of R. Kelly. Get pissed on. Just to take a bath and come out clean. So because you're divine and you're perfect, you might have spent a whole lot of money trying to find yourself when what you are looking for is within you and it is free. So to synthesize and bring it back to the original of the conversation, in order to raise your Kundalini, you have to actually value yourself at a spiritual level. Because if you are at the level of valuing yourself, you're also at the level of knowing what to expect in the future based upon how you value yourself. I value myself as a CEO, so I'm going to get a CEO job. I value myself as a spiritualist, so I'm going to get an opportunity as a spiritualist. But once again, value is not something that I can think. Value is not something that I can feel. Value requires Virgo, which is the opposite of Pisces, and Aries, which is next to Pisces. Value requires the consistency, and value requires the initiation. So Venus conjunct the nodes on the I just got one more paragraph, bro. Yeah, one more paragraph. Like I said, this is just a test run, trial run. So finally, Venus conjunct the nodes in your first house, your house of Aries, right? This is somebody who knows how to do the work, has done the work, and may be tired of doing the work. But this is the point in your life where doing the work has a payoff. doing the work has a level of relief because Venus is conjunct the North Node. And what we know about the nodes is that there are portals. And portals in reference to Venus is in reference to the things that we value and love the most. So I love my family. I love my children. I love my wife. So the portal opened up for us to move to a new home 3 years to the exact day that we moved to Detroit, and not even doing it on purpose. Like, this is our anniversary, we gonna move on our anniversary. It just happened naturally, and that's just how it played out. But I value my family more than anything. I value my children more than anything. And because I do value them and love them, we had an opportunity to move. And that is the portal opening up for us. However, we're still the same people moving in here. So in reference to me and my wife, we have some emotional things to deal with and work through. And it's a beautiful process because I love our growth and I love our development. And it's not perfect, but it is perfect because we will work through it. We will have the conversations necessary for evolution because we value each other and we value the relationship. So I can only encourage y'all to value the people that you love, value your spirit. Because if it wasn't for my spirit, man, I would be smoking Black and Milds at the corner store. Like, hey, man, have y'all seen the hose? The OE. No, I would have $5 to get a blunt, and that ain't enough to get you high. So you got to get a fucking can of beer so you can have some type of buzz going on so you go to sleep. And that was just the lack of spirit. But now, man, I feel like unstoppable. I feel very much large and in charge, and then mainly because I microdose every day. And, you know, I'm not going to bore y'all with the story like I plan to do. But all I'm going to say is if mushrooms didn't come to me and say that they were able to help, then I would never even say that that was even a thing. But I struggled so much with everything. And now, man, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, I don't struggle as much. And, you know, I'm very fortunate. I'm very grateful for life. Because it was shit that I just didn't know existed. But it was available, and it have been available for thousands and thousands of years. And so, you know, me just being a constant servant to life, it always surprises you and shows you amazing things. And so if you're tired of just not being surprised and not knowing who you are, maybe try a little week supply, you know. Put your toes in the water, because you have the ability to see yourself and heal yourself and raise yourself up, but you can't do it alone. And that's what I've learned. And I'm happy to be able to say this and to show this and to bring it to y'all awareness, because, you know, mushrooms saved my life. And I don't know, I hope it could do the same for you. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it on the replay. Apologize for the toddler. We're going to move into my office for the next video for sure. But I just couldn't stop because he was going crazy. So hopefully the message got through clear. If it didn't get through clear and the toddler was too much of a burden for you, click the link in the description, visit the Substack, read it for yourself. Comment if it resonated with you or if it made sense. And yeah, thank y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being good sports, like always. The Hood Mystic, your host for the Spirit Verse, Hood in the Morning, hoodmystic.com, things like that. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.